Hello and welcome to my channel, My Math 360. Today I will go over solving quadratic equations by completing a square. So quadratic equation, the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And remember that the a, b, and c, their coefficients and their constants. The leading coefficient a cannot be 0, otherwise it will kill x squared and then it won't be a quadratic equation anymore. There's two options for a that we will consider. A equals to 1 and a is not 1. And for the first option, when a equals 1, I will use an example x squared minus 4x minus 14 equals to 0. So we will need to solve this equation by completing the square. Because we'll be using quadratic formula, let's recall how does it look. A plus minus b squared equals a squared plus minus 2ab plus b squared. So remember, the sign inside of parentheses will tell you the sign up front of double product. So if it's positive, then will be plus, and then the second one is always positive. If it's a minus, then the sign up front of double product will be a minus, and then once again, the second one is always positive. Now let's go back to our example, and I will rewrite the first part, x squared minus 4x, and I'll line up so we can see the third term that we'll be looking for be right here. So we'll be looking for that b squared based on first two terms. So the first term is x squared, and when you look at the formula, it's sitting in the spot of a squared, meaning in my case, x is a. Negative 4x sitting in the spot of a double product, which has determined that x is a, meaning that number 4 sitting in the spot of 2b, and I will use a different color to point it out that 4 is sitting in the spot of 2 times b. I'm gonna go back to black. And rewrite that the 4 equals 2b. We're looking for b, and now what I need to do, I need to solve this simple equation by dividing both sides by 2. So the b equals 2. Now I can complete this trinomial. Will be x squared minus 4x plus, which is determined based on those two terms, that the third term will be 2, b equals 2, and then it needed to be squared. However, our equation contained x squared minus 4x, but it never had this 2 squared that we just came up with, meaning that I need to immediately subtract this number. I made it up, we figured it out, but we made it up. It was never an equation, meaning I need to subtract it immediately. What else do I have there? I also have minus 14, and I also have equals to 0. Let's call it a step 1. Step 1. So what did we do in step 1? We figured out a trinomial that we will turn into a perfect square using the formula. And then what else we're going to do? We will move everything else to the right of the equation. So I will rewrite this as x squared minus 4x plus 2 squared equals, and then negative 2 squared, which is negative 4, minus 14 will be negative 18. If I move it to the right, it will become a positive 18. So now I can use this trinomial and roll into the formula. So that would be x minus 2 squared equals to 18. Next step, I need to free the x. I'm solving it for x, so that we would call step 2. And then in the next step, step 3, I will release the x by taking square root of both sides. So remember that square root kills the square. That's why I'm gonna take the square root of the left side, and then I will have to take the square root of the right side to keep equality true. But remember, every time we take the square root of a number, we'll have two results, which is plus minus. So on the left side, I will have x minus 2. And then on the right side, I will have plus minus, and I can simplify square root of 18. Because 18 contains a perfect square, which is 9 times 2. So I can take 9 out. Square root of 9 is 3 roots of 2. So that will be 3 roots of 2. And then adding 2 to the both sides, x equals 2 plus minus 3 roots of 2, x1 and 2. So I have a solution set. I can rewrite this as 2 plus minus 3 roots of 2.